Welcome back, everybody. Another episode here. Banish the Doubt. I am George McNamara. In this video, what I want to talk about is something that I wish I had learned many years ago, but we didn't. And I think if I had learned it many years ago, I might not be sitting here talking to you the way I am now. So it is what it is, as we say. And here we go into this video. I want to talk about our relationship with money, how it's formed, and how we're programmed to go and get money, or at least we're taught how we have to get money or make money. So Dr. Joe Dispenza said, we have a relationship with everything known in our environment. We have a neurological network for our parents. We have a neurological network for our cell phone, for our computer, for where we live, where we used to live. And we have a neurological network for what we're going to do tomorrow. See, the brain is a reflection. It's a reflection, he says, of everything that is known. What I want to talk about here in this video is our relationship with money and how it was established, and how even people who seem to have a lot of money are not really truly happy. It's because it's the way we've been programmed. So let me go ahead and get started here. Okay. So beliefs are formed from past experiences. So this here gives us a schematic of the first dozen years of our life, the first 12 years. And these letters here represent the different brain waves. So from 7 to 12, we're in alpha. From 2 to 7, we're in theta. And from 0, when we're first born, till 2 years old, we're in delta. These are very suggestible years of children's lives from the time we're born until 12 years old, usually between 7 and 12. But these are very suggestible times of our life. We believe whatever we're told. We surrender to whatever we're witnessing, whatever we're observing, and we accept as truth whatever it is we're observing, that we're listening to, right? Our parents, grandparents, the church, or whatever religious affiliation you are, school, teachers, principals, right? I can remember a neighborhood friend of ours growing up. His father was the principal. And I remember, I think it was a fifth grade or something, I had to be called down to his office. And I was thinking, oh, wow, I have to go see him. And it was my perception of him, that perception that was formed earlier in life of what, a man, a father, and I go talk to him, and a principal at that. So it was this perception that was formed within me, and the fear that I had about going to talk to him. The fear I had for Sister Inez, this little nun in the fifth grade who screamed and hit the children, the students. But it was a perception that I was going to get in trouble and maybe I would be hurt and hit by her. What would my parents think, right? And then what were some of the conversations we heard? Some of you watching this may know what I'm talking about around school, right? And how if you went home, right? Your parents said, well, if I went home and told my dad or my mom that a teacher hit me, what would happen? They would hit me. Why? Because they just assumed whatever it is you did was bad. Again, we believe it, we surrender to it, we accept it as if it is truth. Same thing with respect to money. What were the conversations like in your home around money? What were the conversations between your parents? Was there stress? Was there arguments? Were there domestic issues? See, because money is the thing that gets people they get their emotions just triggered big time, right? You have a job and today's payday and you look at your bank account like, holy shit, where's the money? It's not there. They told me it would be there. And what happens? Well, however you were raised about money, these beliefs, right? That money's hard to come by. You have to work harder. You have to go get a second or third job. These beliefs are put down into our subconscious mind because the conscious mind is not formed yet. The analytical mind, which is the barrier between the conscious and the subconscious, doesn't start until around 7 to 12 years of age. It's not even formed. So this part of your brain here is not even formed yet during these years. So we just assume it. And this is what creates those beliefs around money and other things. We develop our self-image during these years. We develop a level of worth or lack thereof. We develop lack mentality or prosperity mentality, wealth mentality or poverty mentality. How were your parents around money? Did you see them physically working hard, longer hours? Were they workaholics? Did you have money, but you never saw your parents? In my brother's case, him and my sister-in-law, very what we would call successful in the military, but were never home. He was gone for a year or so at a clip whenever he was set out on a tour. And he joked at one time when we were together several years ago, like, yeah, my kids will be in therapy for the rest of their life. But that's the way the culture we live in is very toxic. And this is one of the reasons why. So let's continue. So now Dr. Joe says we think neurologically within the circuits of those past experiences, and we feel chemically within the boundaries of the emotion. So our brain and our body, emotion and neurologically, this is what sets up that belief. When we live in lack, the body says, well, I'm waiting for some external event. When we live in lack, because most of this, what I just explained, obviously, is us living in some form of lack. The body says, I'm waiting for some external event to occur. I'm going to win the lottery, right? Or if you're a girl, I'm going to marry the right guy. And this emotion creates separation. I'm here, the door is over there. I'm here, you're there. We're separate. We're matter trying to change matter. We create this, and we see it today everywhere, right? We are all separate from one another. And this is what creates another layer of that toxic environment and culture that we live in. We're not taught that we are all together. We are all interconnected in this universe. And that as I help one, I help many others. As I take care of myself, I then take care of many, many others. That we have this service mentality. I'm going to help another. What I'm going to create or I'm going to do is going to benefit the other. It's not about money, but our society thinks it's all about money. We're taught from a young age, hey, how much you making at that job? How much they paying you? So it's about, and then if you have a certain type of car, you have a certain type of clothes, you live in a certain type of neighborhood, where you're viewed as somebody who's made it. But this is not the way we were wired when we came into this world. It's the way we were wired at what I just explained. Those first dozen formulative years, that society does this. So then we have to compete. We think we have to compete. You have to get out there and compete in the world, in business and sports and what have you. We have to be better than the other guy. We have to cheat. You have to lie in order to make it. And this is what creates that toxicity within the society, within our culture. And then what ends up happening for most of us, we end up with disease, or we end up with a traumatic event, a divorce, bankruptcy. I'm not saying that going out and working and being at a job and putting in the hours and creating a certain flow of income is bad. It's not. But when the mentality is that, when we're taking our focus off of ourself and the mentality of having this positive attitude for yourself and paying attention to the foods we eat, things like that, recognizing that if we're eating a lot of sugar, it's probably because that sugar is replacing something inside of us, neurologically, emotionally, that's the sugar high. And this is what ends up with diabetes and other types of health issues. And then we want to figure out, okay, so where did I sort of go off track? We're in a relationship, maybe even a marriage, and we're not happy. We haven't been for a long time. Where did I go off course? Not how did I end up here, but okay, so at what point, I'm taking responsibility for this, did I get off course, and how far back do I have to go? And I'm going to change it now in this moment, start changing that thinking. If I'm in a job and it's what we call a dead end job, or it's not fulfilling, okay, so where did I get off course? See, because we're taught convenience, right? We're taught convenience with these things, with the TV, that's why they call it TV programming. We're taught all these things. And it's designed, again, going back to the toxic culture, is designed to keep you off of and away from this type of information. It is precisely the information about focusing on yourself and becoming present in the moment and taking stock of where you are. If you're somebody who's challenged with money watching this video, challenged with a relationship, a health issue, you find yourself here watching this video, I'm offering coaching on my channel and putting forth techniques, incorporating techniques, affirmations, meditations, just changing the way we think, certain books to read, people to listen to, podcasts to watch, surrounding yourself with positive information, empowering, motivating information to change the thinking, to change, to course correct. We do this, it takes discipline, understanding why the first hour of our day is the most important, understanding why changing the mentality, changing the thinking in your mind on a daily basis, a moment by moment basis, changes the whole trajectory of your life. So if you're somebody who's looking to make that change, click on the link, and let's work together, and let's start to figure out what it is exactly that's you've been unconsciously doing to hold yourself back. We'll implement some of these techniques to lighten your load, to change the direction of your life. Have a great day.